we're going to be talking about, should you do the travel insurance? Should you not? What's included? What's not? I'm Marshie Morgan, and I wrote 13 interactive challenges to self discovery and grandparent memories from the heart. You can find those links below. Make sure that you get your free poster called Letting Go. All right, let's dive into this information. First of all, you're all excited about your cruise, and they ask you, hey, do you want some travel insurance, in case you can't go or whatever? And you're like, no, I don't need that. I'm fine. And you've got medical insurance, so you don't think anything about it. You just go on your cruise and off on you go. You're off to the races and you're having fun. Well, then the next thing you know, like me, I hurt myself on the beach. Okay, now what? Do I go to medical? Do I not go to medical? How much is that going to cost me? I don't know. I'm here to answer some of those questions for you. First of all, it's always a good rule of thumb to take the travel insurance. Now, do you have to pay the travel insurance through the cruise line that you're with? No, you don't. What they do is they use a third party and they upcharge 20 to 30% on that travel insurance. Now, one thing that you need to be aware of with that travel insurance is, does it cover ports as well as medical? Those are the two things, because you have to think, when you go on a cruise, you're going out and about at the ports. If something should happen, if you get hurt, you have an accident, is that travel insurance going to cover the port as well as the cruise ship? And is it going to cover medical insurance? You may be thinking, oh, well, Marshie, I have medical insurance. I've got my insurance card right here. Everything's fine. I'm telling you, not so much. Okay? You need to call your insurance company before your cruise and say, hey, how does this work if I was to get hurt on the cruise ship? Is it covered? Is it not? Okay. How does it all work? Am I just going to give them my insurance card at the med clinic? Nope. Allegedly. Okay, I can't speak for every cruise line, but the majority are going to tell you, give me the money right now. You file a claim with your insurance and you work that out when you get home. We want our money now. Thank you. Okay? Very important that you get that. The next thing that you need to be aware of is that the office hours of the doctor and the nurse, because there's a doctor and a nurse on the cruise ships at the clinic, it'd be 2, 3 hours for the whole entire day. Is it going to cost you more outside of office hours if you need their services? Yes, it is. Will they do a house call, meaning come to your cabin? Yes, they will. Will it cost you even more? Yes, it will. Well, what about the difference if I just see the nurse and not the doctor? Is there a difference? Is there a price difference? Yes, there is. The nurse is a little bit cheaper to see than the doctor. Okay, what else do you need to know? How much does it cost, Marshie? Well, I know for NCL, Norwegian, they tend to post their prices itemized out on the door. Now, is that all of the cost? No, but you have a pretty good idea. Now realize, they're going to nickel and dime you just as if you went into the hospital. When you go into the hospital, if you use a Kleenex, they're going to charge you for a box of Kleenex. They keep track of everything you're using. You need a blood panel or some kind of panel done. That's going to range you around $225 plus. Let's say you break your arm or your leg. Okay, that's going to run anywhere from $200 to $500 depending on the procedure and what needs to be done. Okay, the bigger the ship, the more bigger the office, the bigger the clinic. Um, they do have a morgue on the ship. Hopefully that does not happen to you. I want you to be safe, okay? Um, Now you might say, "Oh, well, Marshie, can I just go down to the trade winds? Don't they have some sundries there?" They may have some suntan lotion, but I mean, I've needed ibuprofen before and couldn't find it. All right. Here's a picture of what you can find in the vending machine and kind of give you an idea of the pricing. If you haven't seen my first aid kit, I suggest you watch that video next on my first aid kit. Money up front. Now, what happens if you need to be evacuated? I've seen that be as low as 20,000 all the way up into triple digits. You know, you may be healthier than a horse. I'm healthy. I'm real healthy, right? But I traveled by myself and I ate something. I don't know what happened, but I got sicker than a dog. I had diarrhea and vomiting at the same time. I mean, there was no going and getting anything because I couldn't go anywhere. Okay. Um, I didn't bring any Pepto with me. I had some Gas X. Um, all I could do, I finally was able to get out of my room and go find some ginger ale, and I was looking for some toast or some crackers or something. I didn't eat for 2 days. It was not good. Um, so make sure that you bring your first aid kit. It's important. I mean, I've sprained my ankle before and just just know. I've hurt myself on a different trip where I broke my clavicle. I like to travel. I tend to travel by myself, but be smart about things. I can't make the decision of whether to get the travel insurance, but I can at least educate you on it. Okay, what else do I need to tell you? A lot of times you can get some medicine out off the ship. A lot of times outside the port, there will be a pharmacy, and you can get something there. Okay. But it's not a guarantee that it's always there. And you may be in a situation like I was last time where there was no getting off the ship. That wasn't happening. I couldn't go down the hallway. Okay. There was, I could not do anything. Um, all right. So please tell me if you've experienced on your travels needing help, had to use the clinic. What happened? Let us know in the comments. Be blessed and have a wonderful, wonderful day.